Hey everybody, welcome to J Stern Designs. Today is an exciting day. If you follow along with me, you may have heard that I won a French European dress form at the National ASG conference. You can see here it arrived on my doorstep a few days ago. I was so excited when I saw those boxes on my steps. And I thought it would be fun to do a little unboxing, a little assembly, and a little first impressions of this dress form. So just before I get started with that, a funny story I'll tell you what happened at the conference. They had lunch the last day. So I taught in the morning. I went to lunch. I listened to the awards for the incoming and outgoing National ASG board, and then I had to leave to go get my iPad. I left it in the hotel across the street where I had been staying, and in planning the ASG conference this year, I didn't think I was going to have a booth initially, so my flight was out leaving really early in the afternoon, like before the vendor hall even closed. So I had to rush over to get my iPad, and I'm sitting in the lobby waiting for them to bring it down to me, and I get a text message on my phone saying, "You won Joe's dress form." And I was like, no way. Like, I never win anything. I was like so excited. So I got my iPad and I went back across the street to the hotel where the conference was being held. And as soon as I walked in the front door of the lobby, people started congratulating me. I kind of felt like a celebrity of sorts. It was very exciting, but I also was very pressed for time. So I ran upstairs to the vendor hall. I stopped into Joe's booth and I told him how excited I was. He measured me and gave me my paperwork, and we chatted for a few minutes, and then I had to rush back to my own booth, finish packing up all my stuff so I could make it to the airport on time for my flight. And it was a blur. So, like, I wanted to take a picture with Joe, and I didn't even think to do that. So that's how rushed I was. So if you're watching, Joe, I apologize for my in and out so fast at the conference. But I just want you guys to know that I have been drooling over Joe's dress forms since I first saw them, and I am so excited to win one. Now, you may be wondering, does Jennifer really need another dress form? And the answer is yes, Jennifer does, and I'm going to explain to you why. You may know that I have a ditto form, which I love. And a ditto form is basically a body double. You get scanned, and it's created with all of your curves and bumps and shoulder and everything, including my linebacker shoulders. And if I'm working on something that's for me and it's custom, or if I want to see how something is going to look on my shape, it's perfect for that. And I use it a lot for a lot of different things. What I can't use it for is to design new patterns that I may in fact want to develop and add to my fashion pattern collection. So the French European dress form is a really high quality luxury dress form, and it's a standard set of body measurements. So I can use that to design new tops and skirts and dresses that I can then grade into a range of sizes to complete the pattern. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm excited that I have a dress form that's close to my size. As it turned out, when I got measured, I was between the size 18 and 20 plus size dress form. So we went with the 18 because every measurement was a couple inches smaller than me. So I'm actually bigger than the size 18, but I can use that information to or consider that information when I'm working with that and fitting things. So I'm really excited to have a really high quality dress form that's close to my size that I can also use to design new patterns with. Before we start the unboxing portion of this video, I just want to tell you that Joe has a video showing you how to assemble your dress form, and I watched the first couple minutes of it and then I turned it off, and I should have watched the entire video because I wouldn't have gotten stuck when it came time to put the pole, insert the pole into the body of the dress form. So when we get to the end of the unboxing and we start talking about the pole and the stand and the pedal, I'm going to be telling you all about my mishap, and I'm going to save you a lot of time and irritation, I think, if you're trying to set your dress form up in your sewing studio with a standard height of a ceiling. And I'll tell you about that when we get to that point. But for now, let's get going with the unboxing. So let me start the unboxing. Now, I laid the big box on the floor down here because it said this side up and this side up was sideways, but I'll tip it up and I'll show you in a minute. Let's open the small box first. I'm going to use, I think I'm just going to use my stiletto here to rip the tape. I'm going to open this up. This is exciting. All right, so in this box we have the finial for the top of the pole, I believe. Let me use my crappy scissors here. Don't use your good fabric scissors to open things. Oh, not the finial. This is the pedal to raise and lower the dress form. So I got that wrong. Let's see. A minute. Let me just get this here. Here. All right, so let's check out this stuff. All right, so obviously this is the base. So I'm guessing these are the wheels. Let's check that out. I think there's going to be a bit of assembly required here. Oh yes, fabulous wheels. Joe has a video showing you how to assemble your dress form, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in like this, and I'm going to screw it in like this. I bet you this is going to do it for me here. I think in Joe's video he recommends using gloves, so that probably is a smart idea. I don't have any garden gloves, so I'm just going to go without. So I'm just going to loosely set these. I'll have my husband bring his tools up here and tighten things down for me, but I just want to show you how easy this assembly is. I'm not reading any instructions. I'm just sticking my wheels so I can roll my dress form around. Oops, wrong way. Okay, let's see. We have a little bit of a styrofoam confetti thing going on, but that's all right. All right, so see how easy peasy? All right, let's get this one. All right. All right, so that was really easy, putting the wheels on the stand portion. So again, I'm going to have my husband tighten these up for me, the real deal. But you can see, now I've got this lovely rolling base, and there are locks on the wheels, I believe, so that if you don't want it to roll, you can stop the wheels from rolling. That's super helpful when you're draping or designing on a dress form, not to have it, rolling it around. And this little nut here is to tighten the pole, I'm pretty sure. So that's that. And then the pedal goes in here. Let me see, I think it sneaks in here. Let me see. I'm going to guess it goes in here somehow. I'll have to figure that out. I know it goes under here. So let's see if I can get it to go under there. Am I putting it in wrong? I don't know. I might have to watch the video. I might have to watch the video to see how to put the, oh wait a minute, maybe let's see if I can do troubleshooting. Yes. All right. So don't try to jam it in like this. Stick it through the slot and then flip it. Now this will be your pedal to raise and lower the dress form on the pole. So see, I figured that out all by myself. So let me just turn it and it comes out. Put it in. Ta-da. So my base is all set up. Let's look at our body. I'll just move that over there for now. All right, so I'm just going to show you. This is the box it came in. You can see it's almost as tall as I am. I'm going to lay it back down. And I'm going to open it up with my scissors here. Okay. All right, let's see what's inside this box. Ooh, I have some information with all of the parts and pieces. Lots of packing. I'm gonna move that. All right, so here is my pole, I'm guessing. Ooh, I got this. And let's see here. All right, I will say, beautiful job protecting and packing this dress form. Let's take off this. Okay, here she is. Ta-da! Ooh, the cover on here is really nice. Okay, so here is my body. Look how nice it is. All right, so let me just, I'm gonna leave that standing up on the cage. But there's a cage on the bottom. Let me lift that up to show you. So you can see at the bottom, there is a cage here. So that's what I'm standing it on for now. All right, so now let's see what's in this package. This is like so exciting. I think I can use this is string, so I'm just going to cut the string and open this up. Oh my gosh, I have an arm. This is exciting. So this arm is going to go in here like this. Look how cool that is. Except I think I put it on the wrong side because it's got an elbow shape. So I'm going to put it right here. All right, that's very cool. So now I've got a dress form with an arm. Look at how cool that is. And look at what you can do with the arm. You can move it. That's going to be really cool for sleeve fitting. I'm excited to have an arm. All right, let's see what else we have here. Okay, let me see. Here's my pole and my little spring. Now this spring is what goes at the bottom of the pole, and that's what assists in raising and lowering it. So I know that that goes at the bottom. All right, so now that I have everything unboxed, I want to take a closer look at the stand, the spring, and the pole. I want to make this really easy for you guys to put it together. Basically, there is a skinny end with a little spring and some nuts on one end, and on the other end of the pole there are these split triangles. This is what holds the dress form vertically in place. So you can see I can squeeze them together and I can release them. When they're relaxed, they split apart, and that's what holds the dress form vertically. So now that I have the pole in the stand, I want to show you what happens when you press the foot pedal on the base. See these two split triangles here? If I push the pedal, see how there is a break in the triangles, and it sort of allows them to align perfectly to the width of the pole below. That's how you release the dress form to move it up and down. When it's relaxed, see how the ends shift and they're off center, and that will hold the dress form. So I'm going to put my spring on. Now if I try to put my spring back on with them unaligned, I can't fit it. So I'm going to press my foot pedal, and then I can slide this right on and down to the base. Woo. All right, so now that everything is unboxed and we took a closer look at how the pedal works to open and close those half triangles on top of the pole, what I'd like to do is take a really close look at the stand and the base of the pole. So if you look at this picture here, you can see that when you insert the pole into the stand, that's the small skinning end of the pole goes through the hole in the stand, and it has to sit in that cup or the opposite end of the pedal that's underneath the stand. And that's how, when you press down on the pedal, it presses the pole up and opens those half triangles. So this is how that looks when it's set up properly. The next thing that I want to show you is this. You may be wondering what this is. This is actually a hole, or the hatch, what do you want to call it? Like the hatchway to my attic in the hallway next to my studio. That's where we had to bring the pole and the stand so we could slide the dress form onto the pole in the vertical position. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was going to save you some time and irritation. And it may be that you're smarter than me or you knew this. I've had my dress forms set up in my studio, the ones that are standard with poles and pedals, for probably 20 years. So I have not put or set up a dress form in a long time. And I forgot the part about when you're setting up or when you're putting the dress form onto the pole, you can't lay the dress form down on the table and slide it in horizontally. I tried that several times, and I spent an hour trying to figure out why the pedal wouldn't work and the dress form wouldn't adjust in the vertical position. And then I called my husband up, and he spent another hour trying to figure out the same thing. He loosened and tightened all of the nuts on either end of the pole to try to get it to work, and none of that had anything to do with keeping the dress form or using the pedal to get the dress form to adjust vertically. What you do use those nuts for is you want to make sure when you press the pedal, there's enough play up at the top for those half triangles to open. So if you press your pedal and those half triangles stay shut, loosen the screws a little bit so you get a good, like, generous eighth to almost a quarter inch of space between those triangles. And I have a picture of, here's those half triangles closed, so you can see what they look like before you press the pedal. Just one more time. And here is the half triangles with the pedal pressed, and you can see that there is space there, and ideally I think there should even be a little bit more space. So we loosened up the screw just a little bit to give a little bit more room for those to open and close when the pedal is pressed. So having been frustrated, I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people that, like, I think I can just do things. So I just tend to not read instructions or not look at tutorials. I just try to figure things out myself. And in this case, that wasn't working great. So this is a good time to mention the amazing customer service at the French European Dressform company, because I called them after quickly looking for Joe's video and I couldn't find it fast. I called there and they sent me a link like in 2 minutes. So I forwarded the link to my husband. He watched it and he comes upstairs and he goes, I know what we did wrong. The dress form has to be put on the pole while pressing the pedal in the vertical position. So here's what we ended up having to do. My ceiling is too low to do that. So you can see here, my husband got the brilliant idea to open the hatch to the attic in our hallway right outside my studio. We stuck the dress form through the opening and onto the pole vertically. So when you set the dress form onto the pole vertically, you're pressing the pedal, you release the pedal, and then it engages and it stays at the height that you want it to be. So super excited that we figured that out, and I hope this helps you if you're setting up your own dress form and you're trying to set it up by laying it down because your ceiling is too low. So now let me roll out my completed setup French European dress form. Here she is. I am super excited. I just want to give you some first impressions of how I feel about this dress form, in particular compared to the ones that I have in my collection already. Because remember, I have some dress forms that are standard in my collection. You can see here, I just want to compare the side view of this standard dress form. So here it is. You can see from the waist down, it's basically a cylinder. But if I turn my French European dress form to the side, you can see it has a little bit of a butt shape. And I think that that's going to make fitting skirts and dresses much more accurate and nice than having a flat cylinder. So, you know, you can see basically my other old dress forms have the same front and back shape below the waist. So having a curvy butt, I think, will be helpful. The cover is luxurious. I love having the arm. And here's another big difference between a standard form and my ditto form. This dress form has collapsible shoulders, and I just want to show you what that means. So if you're trying to fit something that has to go over the top, you can actually press on the arm plate and see how it collapses the shoulder to make it more narrow. Now it doesn't work if you have the arm attached. So I'm going to take my arm off. Okay. So you have to have the arm off to collapse the shoulder. But you can see now it's a much narrower dimension here, and you can slide things over the head easier, and then you can put the shoulders back. Now, because when the shoulders are collapsed, everything is crunched up here, I don't recommend leaving them like that. Collapse them to put on the garment and then uncollapse them and let them relax. So right out of the gate, if you have the arm, it will not collapse. So take the arm off. And obviously, if you're trying to put something over the head of your dress form, the arm is probably going to get in the way as well. So that really comes in handy when you're working on something that has to go over the head and you don't have a large opening, or you didn't leave a whole seam unsewn. So anyway, introducing my new French European dress form. Super excited. I'm going to have a lot coming in the near future in terms of how to use it. I will probably have tutorials on draping and designing and all sorts of fun stuff. So stay tuned for that. If you have any questions or comments about French European dress form, please post them below and I will help you. I'm also putting a link to the French European dress form company in the description below. So if you want to check them out, you can certainly do that. I will tell you that this, I have to say, this is the ultimate in standard dress forms. It's so nice, and I can't wait to start working with it. Thank you, Joe and the French European Dress Form Company, for offering this door prize, and I feel so blessed to have won it. So thank you so much, and thank all of you for watching, and have a lovely rest of your day.